All right. Welcome back to Gay by Gay. This is kind of an extra episode. Yes. Just a little bit of weekend content for you after Death Week.
More death for you guys.
More death for you guys. So this is probably going to be a little bit shorter than a regular episode, but, we'll see what happens here.
We talk lots, so.
We do talk a lot. So after talking about death so much, Aliyah had kind of brought up the question of, what do you want done with your corpse after you die? So, we kind of talked about how we feel about death itself and more kind of what happens after death and maybe spiritual beliefs. But what about your body? There's something left behind, even if the spirit goes. There's something left behind. All of this body, yaddy.
Unless you get, burned to death, but,
Even though there's still technically a body, because do you know how hot a fire has to be in order to burn human flesh and bone?
I don't know that, Abby.
It's very hot. I'll just put it to you that way.
Is that like a pickup line I can tell someone? You're so hot that my bones will be incinerated by you.
Oh, Christ.
I would say that to someone.
You would say that to someone.
Say that to Alex. You're going to say that to her later.
I will say her later.
I will say her later. Okay, so starting off, Charli, we kind of talked a little bit because I kind of asked you in your episode, do you want the vultures to peck out your eyes? Do you want a sky burial? Do you want me to launch you out in a canoe?
Hey, just because I'm damn brown and native.
I can say this because we're close enough.
Yes.
I'm not racist,
No,
I swear.
Fine. I say things like that too. But.
Yeah, like you commenting about my lack of health care all the time because I'm fucking white.
Hey. It's not my fault your people took our land.
Well, it's not my fault that your people got in the way.
God damn. It's not my fault your people are stupid. Fell for my tricks.
This is the nice part about being multicultural and having friends from different ethnic backgrounds. We can just make fun of everybody.
Multicultural, the two white people and their one native friend.
You're Portuguese.
I'm still white.
You're closer to Spanish. You're very lightly brown.
Brown.
You're lightly toasted.
You're
like garlic bread.
She's not Italian. She's Portuguese.
Well,
she's more like a gray pork chop color.
Yeah.
A gray pork chop.
A gray pork chop.
Fried brains.
Just throw it around.
Okay, so getting back on topic. Oh, criminy Christmas.
Criminy
Christmas. Oh. This is how you know that I'm white. I say the words Jesus, criminy Christmas, and golly.
Oh my God. I was doing my
guys.
schoolwork the other day, and we were working on idioms, and I'm reading all of them, oh my God, this is literally the Book of Abby.
The book. I'm pretty white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that guy. He's not playing with a full deck of cards.
It's the idiom and the idiots.
Yeah.
Great.
Great.
So no, you do not want a sky burial. You do not want to be launched out in a canoe,
Abby.
and you do not want vultures to peck out your eyes. Cremation, I think, is what you had said.
Yeah. I honestly don't want people to keep my ashes, but I don't want to be.
I thought you were going to say you don't want people to keep your ass. And I was like,
it's not there.
Hello.
You know what I want them to do? I want them to cut out my ass and then stick the rest of me in the fryer.
a jar.
Stick the rest of me in a fryer and just play the bongos in my butt cheeks after I die.
Oh my gosh, taxidermy people.
God damn it.
Taxidermy your butt cheeks.
Oh. Use it as a pillow.
The mouse pad things.
You put some sensors in it and then play it like a drum kit in
Guitar Hero.
In Guitar Hero. Oh, like literally doom on your butt.
Those are some brown cheeks, man.
Okay, so getting away from the morbid idea
of butt cheeks bongos.
The butt cheeks bongos. Cremation for you. That is your choice. You don't. And you had said that you kind of want like an open casket.
Yeah,
maybe you want to be viewed.
I want to be viewed for a while because I want people to see what.
You want people to stare at your dead body the way they stared at Snow White.
Yeah, and I just want people to be like, whoa.
Wow, that's Charli, and wow, she's very dead.
She's very much
dead.
That might be the one time after rigor mortis sets in. That might be the one time in your life that you're not going to be fully flexible.
Yeah,
you're going to be stiff.
Very cold and stiff.
You're going to be very stiff. But luckily, rigor mortis doesn't last for forever, and eventually it'll go back, and then maybe people will just play with your body the way they play with, like, bendy dolls, and they're just going to bend you to all sorts of weird shapes and be like, whoa!
Just stuff me into like a contortion doll for everyone.
I'm so disturbed by this.
Have you ever seen those, like, okay, so I'm going to age myself a little bit here. Have you guys ever seen those action figures of Gumby?
Nope.
Nope, all right.
Gumby what?
Gumby is a character. He's like a little plasticine character, but he was known for being like very, very flexible. If you imagine like the little Gumby guy, basically these little action figures kind of remind me, they're like the same texture as a rubber pencil.
Yes.
They're like the same texture as a rubber pencil. And so I just imagine people using Charli like a giant Gumby.
I can see that.
And just bending her into all sorts of weird positions after rigor mortis says, there you go. Aliyah just looked up a picture of it. But yeah, I just imagine people using you like a giant Gumby doll for a little while after your rigor mortis wears off.
That would not happen. Her family would be very sad.
Like, I think her family would probably tie her up to strings and dance around like Pinocchio for a little while.
They just like hang me up for Christmas. Oh look, Merry
You know
Christmas,
what would
Charlie.
be
Christmas,
awesome?
Charlie.
One of the ornaments.
You know how in like the historical eras, I don't know fucking history, where they would pose like the dead people, and then take pictures of them.
Yeah,
That's kind of
sure.
metal.
Yeah.
That's kind of metal.
It's kind of metal,
Like,
man.
I want to be cremated, but I don't want people to keep my ashes, but I also don't want to be like sprinkled into the water.
I was gonna ask if you wanted them to be scattered.
No, I don't even know anyone. I just want to be gone.
I mean, there are other options. I know my
Just get rid of
mom
me.
has kind of looked into this a couple of times where
Throw me out, man.
she's mentioned that you can be cremated and then, believe it or not, you can be pressed into a tiny diamond.
Ooh.
Is that something you would want, or would you want to be planted as a tree?
Oh my god, do you guys know the new Trolls movie? It's called World Tour. There's
Christ.
a little thing in there, and he's Guy Diamond's son, and his name's Tiny Diamond. That's what I'm going to be, Tiny
You're going to be Tiny Diamond?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So Charlie wants to be pressed into a diamond after she's cremated.
Tiny Diamond, yep.
How about you, Aliyah? What do the Portuguese do? Do you want to be impaled on a stake and put up on the outside of the castle wall?
That's kind of metal. I mean,
Do you want to be crucified and nailed to the cross? Do you want to be burned to the stake, you witch? Abby! That's more my future if we know where we're going. I would not have survived. I would not have survived the Salem times. I would have been roasty toasty, honey.
Roasty toasty.
I would have been as brown as Charlie. Actually, I probably would have been charcoal colored at that point.
Charcoal Charlie.
Charcoal Charlie.
Damn it. I'm not that
I mean, you do want to be cremated, so at some
Yeah.
point, I'm just after you die. If you die before I do, I'm just nicknaming you Charcoal Charlie.
Yeah. See my ashes.
whole-
Look, there's Charcoal Charlie.
A whole new way of getting baked.
Yeah.
So,
Bake you into a pie, have your family eat you.
oh God,
You become them.
isn't that cannibalism?
Yeah.
No, but if it's your ashes, is it really
Do you
cannibalism?
eat
There are some cannibal tribes that actually do believe that that's the right way to go
Yeah,
about things,
I
where they
know.
eat their family members because it makes them one again.
Yeah.
I know a lot about a lot of useless shit. Don't ask me questions, please.
It's like the marshmallows when you cook them and they're too black. You just take the black and you eat it.
Oh God.
Oh.
So no, how do you want to handle your body after
I
death?
don't-
Well, you're not gonna handle it. We're gonna
No.
handle it. Well, I say we, but
We hold it.
I
hold
don't want to be cremated because that freaks me out.
the idea of being roasted in an
Burned.
oven.
But you'll be dead.
I hate that.
Like
No,
a
but
very
I just hate it.
Yeah, but you could turn into like a super crispy rotisserie chicken.
I
super
don't want
crisp.
to be a crispy rotisserie chicken.
Aaliyah's crisp.
You know what
Yeah,
I love?
Oh, yeah. She's
Oh,
crisp,
she's
man.
crispy, man.
I have a love.
Listen, that skin crackle.
I
Oh my God, you would be the worst scented candle in history.
I feel like it would smell like coffee poop.
Coffee poop.
That's all you poop. It's
Coffee. Oh my gosh. Anyways,
Coffee.
I have a love for cemeteries.
Yeah, Aaliyah does like
So
cemeteries
I
a
do
lot.
kind of like
Calming,
cemeteries.
honestly.
She's
Yeah.
these two are like the opposite of me because
Yeah.
they don't have my inclination
Thank
to spirituality.
God. Yeah.
So as much as they're like, oh, I love cemeteries, I'm like, I go by a cemetery and I hold my breath just because I
Yeah.
hope people quote unquote
Don't.
notice me
Yeah.
as I'm driving by and follow me home.
They're like hitchhikers on like side of the cars, just like
hold
jump
on.
on top.
They follow, you know what I mean? They're like, you can see me, you can interact with me, and I'm like, oh God, no, don't make eye contact.
Anyway,
Don't let them know.
Yes, I love cemeteries. One of my favorite activities when we go see my grandpa, because I'm not too close to my grandpa, my mom will stand there and talk to him.
Talk to the grave.
I
yeah.
think that's kind of weird. So I like walk around the cemetery and I like reading the names off of them.
Yeah.
And I just like seeing the years.
So
and, like,
you kind of like the idea of maybe having a headstone for yourself?
I
I
do.
like seeing like,
Just
all
seeing
the-
your name and your life and your
Oh
death.
my
Like we can put all like
gosh.
a whole bunch of qualities
Gay-
at your thing.
yeah, gay headstone.
Gay headstone.
Me and my wife.
Yeah.
I could have rainbows on it.
You could have an entire mausoleum.
You
could
could
And calico critters.
For gay. Do you want to be buried with your calico critters? Anything you
with
want to
them.
be?
Well,
Here's another question.
yeah.
Even when you're cremated, you can have stuff cremated kind of like with you, and when you're buried, you can have things buried with you. Anything you want to take to the other side, like the Egyptian pharaohs? Anything you're taking along to the afterlife?
I'm taking Abby and Aliyah.
Oh God, that sounds like
Yeah.
murder-suicide plot. I don't know how to feel.
I want to take my cat, but they're kind of already dead. So.
How about for you, Aliyah? Do you want to be buried with anything? Anything other than your wife?
Oh
my
my
God,
wife.
what the hell's his name? Arnold?
Who's the fuck is
Oliver.
Oh my god, my baby.
Who the fuck is Arnold?
Aaliyah has
A reborn.
a baby. It's a baby doll, and it's the most terrifying thing I've ever seen.
It's basically
It's hyper realistic.
It's almost like a
kind of
reborn,
heavy.
but it's more like a porcelain base. I got it at a flea market for $10.
This thing is so hyper
name's
realistically.
Oliver.
It has like realistic skin and it's weighted. Like if you were to tell me that it was like a stuffed baby, I would believe it.
Stuffed baby.
Yeah.
I hate
Abby
dead
hates
babies. I hate dead babies.
Aliyah, I don't think anyone likes dead
No.
babies.
But that part of the cemeteries I don't like the baby aisle.
The baby section,
Yeah,
it's
that's so
it's hard to
sad.
see, especially when you know like
Yeah.
the year is just like
Just
born,
the birth
born
date.
and died, and it's just the birthday,
Just
and
the
and you
birthday.
know that they were either born, stillborn,
Anyways,
or whatever.
yes, I like the idea of having a headstone. I don't want to be cremated and put in the ground. I would like to be buried because I just like traditional.
Do you want a casket? Do you want like an above ground mausoleum?
I don't want a mausoleum. Oh, don't want a
That's
mausoleum.
kind of scary. It's like
I
Dracula.
don't like. I really don't like those where they like. Sometimes I think it's a new thing where they enclose caskets in like the metal, or
Yeah.
not even the metal, like the rock.
Yeah.
And it's above ground.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
like that.
those are mausoleums
Yeah.
where basically you have this little it's kind of like a little building made out of stone
Yeah.
or whatever, and then they put the casket inside of
Yeah.
that. So instead of you being buried in the ground, you're
That's
kind of buried above
crazy.
ground.
I don't like that.
No,
Keep
not
me
at all.
under there. I don't want to come back as a zombie, please.
Keep me under. Keep me under.
But no, like I like the idea of like having something that people who don't know me can look at. Because like once I die. Maybe if I get famous or something.
But maybe somebody will read your name and be like, "Oh, this was a person at one time."
Yeah, or
Yeah.
like I wonder what their life was like.
Yeah,
Because
would do that
I
all the
like
time,
doing
yeah.
that.
Yeah, you like doing that for yourself.
Yeah.
I guess for me personally, I go back and forth. Part of me is interested in the idea of a mausoleum, but I mean that's really expensive. I guess if I ever find my super powerful rich husband or wife and they decide that they want a mausoleum, like sure, put my name on a plaque somewhere. I would love people to go, "Wow, this must have been an important person." Ha, joke's on you. It's just me, bitches.
Just
What if
Abby.
you had like kind of like a temple? How romantic would that be? Just to have like your casket in
In
the
a weird
middle
way,
and, like,
I wouldn't mind having a statue of myself.
What if you were in a gazebo
Oh,
at a family home?
buried under the
Do you know what I
gazebo,
mean?
like
Like
American Horror Story.
literally, maybe I could be a statue somewhere,
Yeah.
and people would look at my name on the statue, and it was like, wow, this was a person.
Gosh, that would be what you want.
So that would be a little bit interesting to me. I think even more than that, I want to be recognized as a person who lived at some point. That's why I think the idea of fame is so interesting to a lot of people, because it's that sort of idea, even after you die, like your name will live on.
Yeah.
People will know that you were a real person and not just, another name in a
You know
cemetery.
what? I don't think that way, because one of the reasons I'm fine with death, but like one thing I do not like about it is there will be no more Charli McKay.
Anonymity.
Yeah.
You don't want to fade into the nothing.
That's just it kind of scares me. Like knowing
Yeah.
in like 100 years,
Someone
no one
won't
will know.
remember you.
They don't
But
know
that's
me.
why I would like to be something like Bob Fosse.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
it's a name that's recognized and taught in schools and everything. And I don't know what level of fame that I want to get to. It's not like I want to be a famous person per se.
Yeah.
But I would like someone to look back and go, that was a choreographer who lived at one time. And I wouldn't mind people continuing, my teachings and
Yeah, like
everything.
Like inspiration for
It's
you and
inspiration
everything.
more than
Yeah.
anything else.
I want to be one of those. Oh, this is me. This is me. I want to be one of those. I die, and then years later, someone finds my poetry or sees me dance or something.
and you become famous off of that.
But I don't even want to be famous.
You
I
just want someone to discover you somewhere
Yeah.
down the line and be like,
Yeah.
oh, kind of
Yeah,
revive
I
you a
don't
little bit.
really.
As long as someone sees your name and everything,
Yeah.
are you truly gone? Is the question.
Well, I don't even mind being gone because everyone's gone at some point.
Yeah.
It's just that question. Like you can be gone, like physically in a way where you're buried and under the ground, but as long as someone knows your name, are you really gone? Because
Yeah.
then it's that acknowledgement that you lived at one point, so
Yeah.
you don't just fade away into nothing.
I really don't vibe with being remembered though.
You'd rather just kind of fade away.
Not even that fading away. I can accept that this is my time and this
Yeah.
is where I'm living,
Yeah.
and that's it.
That's that.
Yeah.
I guess for me, getting away from kind of the mausoleum idea, which is more just like, oh, if I ever find a rich person to pay for that for
Yeah.
me, because I sure as shit ain't paying
you know what
for
that
it
really
myself.
reminds me of for you to say that? It really reminds me of your interest in mythology.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
love mythology.
Yeah.
I think it has a lot to do with my psychic history.
Yeah.
Just the idea of mythology and everything is so fascinating to me. Just all the various things people have believed over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that that's part of where it comes from. I've mentioned before that I wouldn't mind being turned into a tree.
Yeah.
Going
Wow.
back to the planet.
Would
Being
be
part
very
of
vegetarian.
being part of a forest somewhere. Maybe put my name on a plaque on the tree
Yeah.
and then watch how big I grow. You know what I mean?
And just get turned into money.
Sure. But I think I've also mentioned this before where I am terrified of flight. I am terrified of the vacuum of space, But ultimately, I think that is the final frontier in a weird way. So as I've said to people before, ultimately, if I could have anything, shoot me out of a cannon, send me into space, and watch me spiral into the sun.
Imagine we just use like a telescope. Oh,
What
look, there's
if-
Abby.
And it's just my body floating by.
What if you were the thing that ends the planet because you got shot to the sun, you came back as an asteroid?
As an asteroid, and I just took fucking everybody out of
knocked
me.
us out like the
I was like,
dinosaurs.
ha, round 2, bitches.
And
the dinosaurs are gone, and now
we know
so are
it's
you.
because the fire is so red because of your hair.
Yeah.
No, as I said, like, I wouldn't mind, and even if I didn't make it all the way into the atmosphere, and even if I burned up in the atmosphere, maybe someone would see my body shooting by and make a wish on my flaming body. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Or ultimately, as I said, I wouldn't mind just being left to drift into the nothingness of space, and eventually either I'm going to get creamed by an asteroid, or I'll go spiraling into a planet somewhere, and I'll just go poof, poof. You know what I mean? And maybe an alien race will discover me and go, what the fuck is that?
So, like, let's just say that we're all going to get buried. Like, it doesn't matter what we want. We're all just going to get buried.
We're all going to get buried, okay?
What do you guys want to wear when you guys get buried?
Aliyah would want to be naked. I know her.
Either naked or, like, in his gay suit.
Yeah, I feel,
Yeah.
naked.
Naked.
Yeah.
Aliyah would join a nudist colony if she could.
I am very comfortable. I'm not comfortable with my naked body. I'm comfortable being naked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a...
Depends who it is.
Yeah,
who
yeah.
you're
Well,
around.
yeah.
I mean, Aliyah's not just going to go streaking,
In this
but
society, maybe not. But,
Yeah,
like...
Aliyah's comfortable naked.
yeah, I like it.
What would I want to be buried in?
Something gothic.
No. Oh my god. I guess just,
A pretty dress with heels.
Yeah.
yeah, I guess so.
Put the heels on.
Honestly, I think the most ironic thing is that
With the toes pointed.
people have told me before, unfortunately, I have some creepy sleeping habits.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Fucking Dracula.
If you've ever seen a picture, if you follow us on Instagram, you will probably have seen pictures of me. I am extremely pale, actually, to the point that you can see my veins,
Yeah.
and so I have a slight blue tinge to my skin because I'm also anemic. Bad combination. I guess when I sleep, for whatever reason, I have a habit of crossing my hands so that they sit on opposite shoulders. So I guess I sleep like you would typically imagine Dracula to sleep. So I think it would just be absolutely hilarious to bury me looking like fucking Dracula's wife, just waiting for me to rise up from the grave, because I don't think I can get any more pale than I already am. So realistically, I probably, like right now, I probably already look like I'm partially dead. So I think that would just be funny, looking like I'm just naturally sleeping in my own way and I'm about to rise from the dead at any moment.
That would be very... Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
be me.
Yeah.
That would be me.
you.
How about you, Charlie? What are you wearing?
I'm definitely wearing something baggy.
Yeah, for sure. Something comfortable,
Like baggy
loose,
pants
baggy.
that are like really baggy because I like baggy pants. And then probably a big baggy shirt. And then I really want, if I do end up getting buried, I want people I love, like you guys or like my wife or something, I want them to put something that they love in with me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see. I see.
Yeah,
That's
so
kinda
like,
pretty.
say like if I got married or something, I want
The
either
wedding ring or something?
my ring or her ring, doesn't
Or-
matter.
Yeah,
but
just
something
something
you know what I mean?
sentimental. Yeah, I like that.
Maybe I don't want people to take my ring because my family could sell that for more money.
Maybe it's just something a little more sentimental without as
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
monetary value
Yeah.
to it for you.
Yeah, like
'Cause
just
I
something
want-
that you love.
Yeah,
I
something,
think-
something that means something.
Yeah.
I think that's something really important for me, that when I die, I want my family to be okay financially or whatever.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't want them to have to worry about that kind of thing
Yeah.
in the time of my death.
How about monuments? What do you guys think and feel about that? I mean, pharaohs had entire pyramids built
Yeah.
for their resting places. How do you guys feel about monuments? Would you want to be a part of a monument somewhere?
No.
No?
I like my headstone.
Yeah, I mean,
Just your headstone's enough for you?
I can just imagine putting a whole bunch of little calico
Oh,
critter family
God.
that represents Aliyah and her family.
Just
I
calico
would
critters
love to
everywhere.
be-
I don't even want to think about all the eyes staring at me from all the calico critters.
Just going to visit Aliyah.
Oh,
Hi,
yeah.
Aliyah,
I guess they might be kind of creepy, especially me and Alex. We do have the love for the porcelain dolls and like Oliver.
Scary.
Your place would become like the next haunted island. You know that island full of like the old dolls and everything that people
Yeah.
leave behind? That's
Yeah.
where you would want to be buried.
You know,
Yeah.
like the ideas of like when they buried like the pharaohs and stuff. They
Yeah.
put in stuff they would need for the
For the
afterlife.
and I
Yeah.
asked that earlier, right?
Like, I heard one time that they buried one sort of pharaoh or whatever with a whole bunch of underwear to take in the
Gonna need
afterlife.
that. You're gonna need it.
I think I would want to take into the afterlife pictures of my kids.
Oh yeah.
Just
Yeah.
very sentimental
Yeah,
stuff, right?
yeah.
Because you want to carry that with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, no monetary value, just sentimental
Like
value.
even like if say if I died, put a picture of us all three together.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Old pairs of dance shoes.
Old pairs of dance
Yeah.
shoes. Yep. You know.
My leotard from Pandora, like.
Yep. Oh, you love that
Fold
costume.
it up, put it in with me.
Fold it up.
Literally.
Yep.
Or do you just put it on me?
That's gonna be what you're buried in. You're gonna be buried in a unitard
Yes.
somewhere, guaranteed.
Yes. It's either something big or something like that.
Something like
Unless
a unitard.
I'm like a huge fatty when I die.
I don't see that for you, but all right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, death is inevitable.
Yeah.
There are many different ways to die and many different ways to deal with the body after death. Do you guys out there have anything that you want done with your physical body after you pass on to wherever you're going? Do you want to be like me and get shot into outer space to spiral off into the sun, or maybe come back as an asteroid and kill the rest of the people the way the dinosaurs were killed?
Yeah.
Do you want to be like Aliyah, where she just kind of wants a simple headstone, or do you want to be like Charli and get cremated? What do you guys want?
So like obviously we all have very unique ways of wanting.
Very unique.
Of how we
Yeah.
want to like look after we die.
Yeah.
So. I
So
mean,
let us know
yeah.
what you guys want to do, and let's chat a little bit.
Yeah.
I think this is a very interesting
us.
conversation.
Tell us how you want to die.
Tell us how
guys.
you want to die and what you want done with you
Yeah.
afterwards, and we'll see to it for you. Remember to donate to our Patreon. All right, so we will see you in the next episode.
In the afterlife.
In the afterlife.
afterlife.
Bye.
Thank you, Gabe.